Good evening, traders. It is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023, and today was CPI day. Overall, a pretty rangy day. There were a couple trends to and from the larger range extremes, but for the most part, most of this was very rangy. A quick note on the arrows and the colors. They've changed a bit. One, I wanted to make the colors a little bit more, stand out a little bit more. Two, I wanted to identify the entries that fit our strategy and technical setups, but I wanted to explain for the yellow why I necessarily wouldn't take them. And that's what I do throughout the Discord all day is as these setups form, I explain why I wouldn't enter that, and I think that's how you traders learn. Honestly, I think a lot of other YouTubers will focus on the perfect setups and how to enter them, and that's great, and that'll make you a better trader. But I think what will make you the best trader is understanding when not to trade, and that's what these yellow arrows are for. And again, I call those out throughout my Discord to let the rest of the kind of members understand why I'm not taking that trade so that they can learn as well. And I'll go through that here with you as well. Red arrows are unfortunate failures. I was 4-1 today, but it is what it is. You're not always going to win. You're not going to have that 100% win rate. That's just not going to happen. Get that out of your mind. It's the law of large numbers. It's all about probability. It's about taking the perfect setups and letting your winners win. And that's where I don't like the stop trading throughout the day after maybe two loses, because what happens if the rest of the day are perfect setups? Now you haven't made that money back. Now you're in the hole and technical break even on the ones you didn't take. And that's where every setup you want to take, you want to evaluate it in the same manner, and then take the good entries. Be patient for those next setups. And you can see here, there's plenty of arrows. There's going to be plenty of opportunities throughout the whole day. The key is waiting for the opportunity, identifying the context, waiting for those good bars, the good signals, and then taking it. Don't hesitate. Just play the numbers, and you'll either know you're right or wrong after a couple weeks if your account's blown or not. And hopefully, again, with my help and calling things out in Discord, you can find those perfect trades. You can hold off on those bad trades, and through these videos as well. So green arrow is pretty obvious. Successful trades. So let's jump right in. So to start with, just to outline the strategy again, is we're looking for when price kind of just stalls, and then we're looking for that one last push. Again, the market moves in two. We're looking for that second failure, and we want both kind of legs to fail. And once that second failure happens, again with some strong movement, some strong momentum, a good bar, that's where we're expecting to kind of get that reversal for 4 ticks, whether that long move works or not. And that's what those runners are for if that long move does continue. And I did get one solid runner today. That's again the gravy. So pre-market, this was all CPI. Again, I don't trade it. Even big events like this, I just stay out of it. It's super volatile. You're going to get stopped out for your 8 ticks, and it'll maybe still get your 4 ticks backwards, but that's just how volatile it is. I stay out of it until again my 9:30. So 9:30 comes around, kind of start to identify that we are in this range. We are also in this bull trend, and I deleted it now because it didn't hold. But this, anytime you have a big event, I like to just draw, and maybe I'll just redraw it. I just like to draw the extremes of that news, and you can kind of see it almost forms its own support. Obviously, it broke through, but again, major events, you can kind of see where all the big players are holding the price, and then that's kind of where you want to play those extremes. Don't get too greedy. Don't continue to play them over and over. Um, this just blew right through it, but again, kind of helps you set up that range. So to get right into it, I want to point this one out. This was actually a failed engulfing, and while I almost always take failed engulfings no matter what, even if your swing lows here just because of how volatile they are, I'm looking for an almost immediate reversal, and that's where once this ticked down, engulfed all the way up to get the longs up, and then reversed all the way to close at this bull doji. Normally my stop order would be down here waiting for this to kind of flush all the way back down. This closed in this T-bar, and again, I hate T-bars. They're just bad, unlucky dojis. And then it went all the way down, and by the time it gets all the way here, you can almost think of this as just more support, and that's where I just completely ignore this. If I left my order here, again, this is how volatile these kind of failed engulfings are because, again, every long that went and entered up here puts their stop up here or at least down here. And as soon as this flushes right through, bam, it just gets all those stops that now have to sell because they're long. Now they have to sell, they have to join the momentum, and then again that just moves their price down. So I didn't take this. I don't like these when it kind of just delays that move. I want them to be fast, and I want it to tick through and get me filled in fast. So I didn't take that as much as it is high of this mini range. Again, we're looking for two solid legs and then that failure. So we've got this solid move up here, these doji bars, but then a solid failure here, and then another solid bar. I consider this all sort of just one leg, and then one failure, and then this is the second bull leg. These dojis again, even if it ticks up and maybe down one tick down here, I ignore all these micro moves. Again, you want to look at the visual legs. You want to look where the strong move is. This is a strong bull move, kind of just consolidation, rejection, all the way move up here again, and then price just stops. And again, that's where I like these moves that kind of have this hammer top, meaning price just immediately stalled. You kind of have this last push stall down here, top of range, but if you short on that engulfing, not only is the trend right here, which again you have to think everyone else draws these longs are probably going to hold a little bit here, but you're also shorting bottom of this range, and our goal is to buy low, sell high. So you're almost wanting to look long here, and that's where you don't want to take this as much as this is a bull failure, strong engulfing, strong rejection here as well. It's just too low for my liking. I didn't take that setup. I didn't like it. And again, you can kind of see um, if you stayed in my style of 8 ticks rather than risking what is that the 10 ticks, you would have been stopped out. So and then it continues in your favor and moves all the way down. So if you want to risk those 10 ticks, go for it. But again, I like to keep my 4 tick target, 8 tick stop, just to have that predictable, risk reward ratio. I only have to make up two and maybe a couple runners to break even, and that's where I was again 4-1 today. I ended up making profit even though I had one loser, and that's again just the law of numbers. So didn't take the setup, shot all the way down, and again now we've got a strong bull leg, some dojis here, but I ignore these micro movements even though you've kind of got this first entry technical long here. I consider this all one strong bull leg. Then you've got kind of this T-bar and this hammer move up mini leg, and that's where I again just stayed out of this. You maybe think about it. I again don't want you to, because again you maybe think that this is a mini range. But again, this isn't a double bottom. This is an inside bar, ugly bull bar. Even after a yes strong rejection, if you want to call this a one solid leg, somewhat of a decent rejection because it is a hammer bar. Again, this is part of the reason I don't like them because let's just say you do go long here, you don't even get your target, and then it shoots right back down and stops you out. So that's why, again, I don't like these hammer bars. I want a little bit more beefy bars. If this was a solid, double bottom and then maybe shoots right up into this consolidation, yeah, maybe that's a good entry because again, this is, and I call them out all the time, while other people call them congestion, the congestion is just a mini range. So if this is a strong bull bar with a double bottom, that'd probably be a good entry because you do have, again, this strong leg, just falls flat, another strong leg, but then immediate rejection. I just didn't like this bar, it wasn't a double bottom, and it did work, but I didn't take it. Again, I'm looking for those perfect setups. So back into range, right back down. Nothing really for us. I consider this one strong bull leg, and then immediate rejection down. So there's nothing to look for up here. Down here, I got two solid trades. This one just got me out, and then it shot right back down. I was actually very lucky, because as soon as I got my fills, it just take. I almost didn't get my runner in, my break even, and then it just shot right back down. So um, this was a little, I would say, risky, but less so because it was 6 ticks on top of this doji. Strong bear leg, and then again, price just stops. You've got this doji, and then you've got this small risk 6 tick, 5 tick bar, 6 tick where you put your stop. I'm looking for 4 ticks. You've got these highs up here, kind of where this double bar is. Plenty of room, way under EMA. Again, this leg just halted. I got my 4 ticks. Well, again, a little bit more risky, but I like to just play these small risk, small bars. I'm only looking for 4 ticks. If price just kind of again just halts. If this ticked any further and then maybe got up, no, I wouldn't have done that. But because it's really just stayed still, bullish doji. Again, I don't really like dojis, but this was a solid hammer. Um, I went for it. So um, it worked out. This one, again, I just got out, but this does follow our to the T strategy. Strong legs, failure, strong rejection, strong leg, and then this was a bullish engulfing. That's kind of what I took. Way under EMA, swings up here, plenty of room. This was a strong rejection. Again, bullish engulfing. Again, I got my fill, but that's why we only go for 4 ticks. If you went for 5, you went for 6, you wouldn't have made it. You would have got stopped out. And that's where we're scalpers. We're looking to get in, we're looking to get out. Um, and sometimes you won't get filled here. And when you see, and this is, I'll make another video now that I think about it around my strategy. Not necessarily worth kind of distracting us right now on how I set this up, where as soon as I enter, I basically have Ninja Trader rules that will immediately move my runner to break even when I get that 5 ticks tick through. And as well, as soon as I get this 4 ticks, good example here is if you don't get filled and it hits 4 ticks, there's a good chance that it could reverse if that momentum doesn't stay. So sometimes if it hits 4 ticks and immediately reverses and then I don't see it again, I might just go break even. Because again, you're looking for this momentum, especially after a strong, bear leg right here. So anyway, I got my 4 ticks out. Just a warning: if you see that 4 ticks through and then shoot right back down, most likely people got out. This strong bear leg is going to continue. Just get out. And again, it's always better to break even if you're not sure. You're waiting for those perfect setups. And again, luckily I got filled. So um, another, again, extreme right here. We've got now this larger range. You kind of have these support down here. No good bars. You do have this strong bear leg, okay rejection. I don't like this doji, and then another strong leg. Bad doji here though. Hammer, 4 ticks to the swing right here. I didn't like it. 7 tick risk. 'Cause if this was a smaller bar and then maybe double bottom, just like I take a hammer up here, I might have gone for it. But I didn't like this rejection. Um, it's a doji, so I just stayed out. Same thing here. We are in a strong bear trend. And once you break it, again, you're looking for that new extreme. But again, your bottom of range, as much as I like taking these double tops, shoot down, one, there's not enough space. If you drew this trend line right away, I didn't have it, but I didn't like the space as far as this range goes. Um, and I necessarily didn't like it that this didn't touch. And there's a lot of entries up here that worked. That is this kind of price just stops. You've got your double top, and then you get your strong bar down. But I don't like it unless this really touches the top up here. And you'll see later when I explain it. Even though it's 1 tick below, it's still an inside bar. It's not a double top, and I just stay out of these. Partly from that, and then again, partly because we're in this range low. You want to buy low, sell high. In this case, you want to start to look long once this gets a new extreme, and you're also looking for a second failure. So stay out of this. Don't just always take these double tops and failures, because in this case, you wouldn't have gotten your fill. You would have gotten stopped out. and just again, you're waiting for that perfect setup. So um, up here, again, same thing. You don't always want to take these double tops. Um, you do have this overshoot. I didn't like these bars here. You do have this strong bull leg. Price just stops. You have this kind of hammer bar again. I like these setups, but you also want to wait for these setups to give you, another solid entry. And these are just crap doji bars. Uh, if this was maybe an engulfing down, I still probably wouldn't have taken that because you're still mid-range. You want to kind of almost sell up here, and this, was started from all the way back here. So I didn't like this as much as we have overshoot of this trend, and once you see overshoot, you want to start to look for that rejection. But there's just no solid entry bars here. These are just bad dojis. Yeah, the leg worked, but again, we're looking for those perfect setups. So I didn't like that. Now that this range has started to hold, I'm again starting to trust this. This is where I took this short, partly because of the overshoot, partly because we're top of this range, and again, strong bull leg, strong failure, another strong leg, and then price just ticks through and then stops. And that's where I like these, and that's why I took it. And even in hindsight, I would probably take it again. And that's again the law of large numbers. You're not going to win every trade. You want to just take the good setups. Sometimes they'll fail. The hope is the majority, if not all of them. You hope for all, obviously. Work out. So again, we've got the strong bull leg, failure, another strong bull leg, and price is holding. You've got all these stops up here from these shorts that went in here, and it ticks through, gets them out, but then it shoots right back down. When I see that, I can assume sellers are still around. Again, because they held the line, they got ticked through all the way to their stops, and they said, "No thanks, I'm still short. I'm still gonna, move price down. Solid bar here." Um, you know, I guess the only thing in hindsight is it is a hammer bar, and following my own personal rules, maybe I shouldn't have taken that. But I liked it at the time. I took it, and yeah, it stopped me out. But um, it is what it is. Again, you're not gonna get every setup perfect. So um, up here, same thing. You've got maybe now you consider this one leg, two legs, and now that this has broke the high price, you can kind of maybe say up here at this somewhat hammer bar um, is now the swing high, and then it rejects, and then it goes back up, and then now you have that hammer engulfing down. Yes, you're top of range, but I didn't like this space. First of all, normally when I get stopped out, I kind of just sit out for a few bars, partly to avoid like, oh, I got out, I'm gonna take the next trade, and that's part of revenge trading, over trading. If you get stopped out, sometimes it helps to just sit out of the market for a couple bars, a couple minutes, take a walk, whatever, reset your mind, and then start rereading the chart, as you would the strategy, versus you fail and you're like, oh, well, now it has to go the other way, and then maybe you go long, but then you get stopped out the other way, and then it goes your way. There's a lot of, again, long story short, you just want to wait for the perfect setup. Here, I was kind of, again, just sitting on my hands because I just did get stopped out, even though I probably still, like, assuming I didn't get stopped out or didn't take this and I'm still looking for something, I wouldn't take this because this is the swing low here. There's just not enough room for those four ticks. Did it work? Yes, but again, we're looking for enough room. This is technical support. Yeah, you're top of range, but I took this one. I took the earlier one. Now that that failed, I'm trusting this top of range less so. So that's where I stayed out of this. As much as it is a nice leg stop break, and again, I just didn't like the swing low here. Um, so now we're kind of up here, breakthrough. If I extend this, this is the breakout pullback right here. Um, Bad bar. If this is maybe double bottom, but again, I don't really like the first leg. I like to wait for it to stop price, then try again, and then shoot up. Even though this is a nice breakup pullback, just you know it's not a setup. So up here, you've got your strong bull leg. Price again just stops. I don't really like the T bars, but you do get a strong rejection and then a strong bull leg. I would say the bull leg ends, starts down here, goes up, and stops up here. But again, I don't like these hammer bars. This was an inside bearish bar. If this was maybe a double top, all the way down, I probably would have taken it because this is consolidation. We do have a kind of mini range here. I would want to short up here. This is middle of the range of this consolidation. Inside bar, yes, it is a failed bull leg. That's failed second bull leg, but again, your mid range. Also, not enough room to that double bottom here, so I did not take that. Again, I call all these out about, hey, I'm thinking about this entry in the Discord, and then as soon as it works, or I say, hey, I'm in. Otherwise, if I don't take it, beforehand, I'm calling out, hey, this isn't how I like the setup. I'm not taking it. Blah blah blah. So all of these bars, again, I'm calling out live in Discord. I'm hoping to help you guys out. Strong leg, price just stops. We're looking for that second failure. We've got this right here. Again, hammer bar. I don't like going short on a bullish hammer. If this is maybe bearish, but that's a 10 tick bar. If this is maybe smaller bar, I would have taken this if this was maybe engulfing. But this was again an inside bar. Yes, price just stopped up here, but it also could come all the way back up here. This could totally tick through, shoot back up, stop you out, and then come all the way back down. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is those solid second entries where you can see price just halts maybe twice. Again, if this was a double top, you'd see that halt here. You'd see that another leg of that second attempt. Sellers are still around. Gets that another double top, or maybe that engulfing, and then shoots all the way back down. And that's what we're waiting for. So yes, top of range. Again, I don't like it. I called it out. Don't take these. As much as it worked. This one I took. This was a failed engulfing, which again I take nearly every single time I see them. So strong bear leg rejection. As much as it is a doji, again I take these engulfing failures every single time I see them. This one was a pretty obvious one to take, and this is where I got my runner. We're low of range. We're also low of the range that I had up here. What happened is, again, and this is engulfing failures, you can look up online. Everyone says place your stops where that engulfing wick, in this case, if this goes up and then down to engulf bearish, everyone places their wick, or rather their stop, one up here, right where that wick is as it engulfs. And again, you can read everywhere online. Everyone says place your stops there, or a couple points up, rather ticks up. If there's maybe a swing high up here, and that's where everyone places their stops as soon as they see this engulfing, and they think strong bear leg. I'm gonna get maybe a couple more ticks, and then it ticks all the way through, gets these bears in again. Now their stops are up here, as it's this bearish engulfing, and then it starts to reverse, and that's where I wait. It closes doji. I wait for that price to creep right back up. I enter long. Again, we're bottom of the range. That was a failed engulfing, and I got my 4 ticks, shot right up. I took as soon as I saw this hammer bar, I got up my runner here. But yeah, that's why you have the runners. That's why you get the gravy. And failed engulfings, again, bread and butter. I take these all day. They don't always happen. This engulfing totally could have worked and gone all the way down, and I would have done nothing and maybe entered long down here after maybe a solid failure. But because this was, again, a failed engulfing, I'm looking to go long, bottom of this range, and I really take all failed engulfings. And again, to explain what a failed engulfing is, you want to go in the direction that it first ticks. So doji closes, this bar then moves up to tick above this, then ticks down to engulf this bar, so it comes all the way down and ticks through. So now all the bears are convinced, hey, that's a solid bear bar. I'm going to go short. They enter right here. All of their stops are right up on this wick because they think, hey, now that's the swing. Price isn't going to come back up here, and I'm good to continue my short down here. Well, what happens is it'll tick, and then it'll creep right back up, and this is what this bar did. It, opened here, creeped right back up, and my order is just sitting. As soon as this ticks through, my limit order doesn't just slams right down. I get filled, shoots right up. I get my 4 ticks, and then I get my runner as well. Because again, everyone stops right here. So what's the momentum of the longs buying in at the bottom of the range, plus the stops, which now have to buy in because they're short, shoots the price up, and that's what I take every day. So great trade. I love these setups. Um, I literally take them every time I see them. And they work both ways. So in this case, like if this ticked lower and then engulfed bullish, because then it traps in all the long sinking, hey, we're bottom of the range, but then this is a strong bear trend. I would take this short because there's plenty of room down to this swing lower here. Um, and again, I would have taken that if it went the other way. So in that case, it goes up, or rather goes down, goes engulfs bullish to get all the longs in, and then shoots all the way down, and then I would enter here. The key to remember, again, with failed engulfing, when you get filled, it has to move quick or get out, because again, these are stops here, and if they ticks through and those stops still are holding the line, rather the sellers who got short here but then got maybe stopped here, they're still confident that price is going to go down. Well, and they're going to continue selling here. And that's where once this stalls, you want to start thinking about maybe breaking even, or maybe moving your stop up from 8 ticks to 4 or something like that. I normally always get up break even or as close to as I can. But that's where when these failed engulfings tick through, they should be violent. So got this trade, great trade. On to the next one. So solid bull leg here, solid rejection, another solid leg here. But I didn't like it just because I was kind of expecting a little bit more of an extreme here. I also, again, wait for, as much as like this is maybe the double top here, I like the kind of double top at the hammer. If this was literally one take up and then shot back down, I honestly probably would have taken it, even though I'm kind of expecting price to come up here where these highs are for the extreme. But this, again, solid rejection, solid bar, and then price just stops. If this was right here, and a couple of folks in the Discord actually took this, overall great trade. Just my preference level is for these hammers and then down, either like engulfing or like the double tops. Just because this is one tick down, that's mainly why I didn't take it. You are still top, you are above EMA, plenty of room down in swing lows. So good trade for the folks who did take it. I just didn't take it again because my preference is I like the double top. Um, and then we didn't get another second rejection down here. We got the strong failure, strong bear leg, strong failure, but then price just goes right back up. I don't like any of this consolidation. You can argue that like this is a solid leg and then maybe it goes down and then golfs back up and then shoots right back down. But that's, again, consolidation. In my opinion, this is, again, a mini range. So if you're looking to short here on this engulfing, first of all, you've got this double bottom here, only 2 ticks open. I don't like that. Second of all, there's just not enough, you're selling at the lows of this consolidation. Maybe even you move it down to where this doji is, but you're still selling in the low. So I didn't take it. Yeah, it worked, but again, you got this double bottom. I like room. There's could totally be support here where it does tick through and then stays and then moves right back up. That's where we're waiting for the perfect setups. This also is kind of one leg in my opinion. Again, we're looking kind of for the obvious legs. Like this is an obvious one, and again, I would have taken this assuming this was a double top. But solid trade. You get the obvious leg, obvious failure, obvious leg, obvious failure. This is an obvious leg, but then chop, 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 and then the failure. So maybe you call this a leg. Again, I like to ignore the micro movements. This I like to consider a solid bear leg. You could call this one leg failure, second leg, but then there's no good bar zone here. So you've got this hammer, but again, it's not a double bottom. This isn't necessarily a good bar to go long at. Yeah, you're under EMA, but you're also mid-range. So I just stayed out of all this. You got this solid bull leg, solid rejection, solid bull leg, but again, I don't like this because of the space. You've got this double bottom here. This could totally be consolidation inside of a range here, range here. You're now selling at the bottom of the range. It worked, yeah, but then you can see it chop, 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 and shot right back up. So you want to get the perfect setups. I didn't take this. I told everyone in the Discord, avoid it. I didn't, like the double bottom. Just not enough space. Again, you got your solid bull leg, hammer top, meaning price just stops, and then just really no good entries. You got this doji here. Um, you can, and I mark this because I like to count this as one leg, and then consolidation, and then one rejection, and then that's the second leg. Versus, again, some people call this rejection right here, and then that's the second leg. But again, this is chop. And I like the visual leg. So visual bull leg, failure, visual bull leg. You got your double top, but again, it's not a double top. You are top of range. This would have worked, assuming you get filled here. Um, your stop, you get ticked through right here. So I didn't take this, even though yes, you're top of range. Um, and your trend line, I don't think I had this drawn by then. Once this closed, I drew this and then put it in. But up here, yes, you do have this solid bull leg rejection, and again, that's our whole strategy. We're looking for a solid leg, price just stops, a solid rejection, another solid attempt for the bulls to move that price a little higher. Yeah, moved a little bit, but I don't like these T-bars. This is a 6 tick risk. If this was maybe a little bit more of a body, I probably would have risked it, but I just hate these T-bars. Top of range, you know, maybe your bars are a little bit different. Maybe you could trade if you want to risk that 6 ticks. I don't really like the hammer bar, but yeah, I didn't take it. Solid rejection, bull leg, solid rejection, and it worked. But again, we're waiting for our setups, the perfect setups, the one that fills all of our or ticks all of our check boxes, and I don't like these T-bars, so didn't take it. Solid bear leg, solid rejection, solid bear leg. In this mini range, I didn't have drawn at this time, wasn't necessarily defined yet. Um, but as much as this is a solid rejection, you've got your hammer here. Again, I don't like the when it's not a double bottom. Um, you're mid range of this range right here. You're looking for price to go down here and then look to long. You rarely want to take setups middle of this range, and you can see all of my arrows that are painted out. None of them are middle of this range. The only one that's close are these two, and that's just because this range wasn't even formed yet. It was all about this range, and that's where this should your chart should evolve as price changes. So this was middle of the range. As much as this is a strong leg rejection, these aren't good bars in my opinion. Again, not a double bottom, even though it is a hammer, and you are mid range. I called it out that we were mid range and I wasn't taking it. It would have worked, I think, if you just got filled, but then price slams right back down. Now I've got this range drawn. Again, it's just a mini consolidation inside of this larger move. We are in this now bearish bias range because, again, when a range starts, you want to look at the leg that created it. So if this is a bearish leg that started this range, meaning bears are trying to push the price down. Bulls obviously came in to hold the range, that held the support down here. But it kept the range because sellers came in here and then shot the price back down. So we've got this solid leg solid rejection, and then another solid leg. And this is where I'm saying the double top, hammer bar, we've got a strong price rejection right up here, same line, and then boom, double top engulfing down. I took it, top of range. It got me my 4 ticks. Unfortunately, my runner got stopped out by this stupid bar here. Could have been really nice. That's where, yeah, sometimes we get stopped out here, but if I kept the runner, and sometimes if it'll work all in your favor, and a lot of times the runners also are completely dependent on how you want to manage them. If I left this break even +1 and then waited all the way down here, yeah, I would have gotten the whole move. But I like to kind of target once price hits where I think it's going to be. In this case, this is the range. I wanted my runner to get out around here. As soon as I saw this, I just got out. Again, hindsight's great. Would have been a nice move, but I got my profit, so that's all that matters. So moved all the way down. Again, solid trade here because, again, I love when these are hammer bars with a double top and then shoot down. That's where there's a lot of what I was talking about up here, where let's find one where they weren't the double bottom, and I just stay out of those. Like this one, you've got your strong leg failure, not a double top. I stayed out of it. Many other reasons like I explained, but I like it when these are strong moves and then price just doesn't go anywhere. And then once it doesn't go anywhere, You can assume market, is going to reverse. Sellers are still holding this. Um, Obviously it doesn't always happen. I got stopped out here. That's where you've got your stop. You don't want to go past that. It's all about risk management. But again, solid setup here. Price just stopped. That's what we're looking for. Get my 4 ticks. Solid trade. Um, 2 legs, solid bear leg here. Rejection, solid leg. This bad bar, and yes, I took the one over here, but this was also a solid, low risk 6 tick bar. This is what, yeah, 8 ticks. Bad bar as well. This is at least a hammer. You can see kind of the movement. The price movement went down, and then buyers came in and started moving back up. That's what created the hammer. Um, that's the difference. Yeah, you kind of don't want to predict the bottom of these large legs. Yeah, you do get the rejection. Yeah, it is a doji, and yeah, price shot back up, but that's not what we're looking for. You're looking for solid rejection, and then again, if it's like a 4 tick, 5 tick bar like the other one was, let's get 6 tick after the doji. Yeah, you can sometimes take those, but these bars, ugly doji, big bar. You don't ever want to play stuff like this. As much as price did kind of just stall, let the move happen. Wait for the next one. And another good setup really didn't come throughout the day. You've got this hammer and then shoot up at the bottom of the support. But again, I'm looking for this double bottom. You could argue, yeah, it's a pullback from this range here, and that's exactly what it was. But at the time, you don't know if this is now just gonna, this range started from a bare leg, and most likely that range with the bear's bias and this strong bear's leg could continue. And yes, support's down here, but this isn't always going to be to the tick. It could totally come down here where these lows were, and then chop, and then maybe get your entry down here. So that's where for this, I just didn't take this. Yes, it was a solid rejection. You got your hammer and then shoot back up, but it wasn't double bottom. Yeah, it's a pullback from this range here, or rather failed breakout, but I don't like those, so stayed out. Solid bull leg, solid rejection, another solid bull leg. And again, you want to ignore these micro movements and whatnot. Look at the visual solid legs, double top, solid rejection. But I didn't like it how it's so close to this trend line. Again, everyone draws trend lines. All the longs think, hey, this is also acting as support because look, hey, price is respecting this line. I'm in a long here, and that's where a lot of times price will actually stall here and then maybe go up and get you out. So that's where I don't take these. Also, it's kind of late at the end of the day. Gets very choppy. Again, in my opinion, end of day, like last 15, 20 minutes, it's either going to move wildly one direction or the other, or it's going to pin. In this case, moved pretty. I guess this is right here is not aftermarket, but again, didn't take this. Yes, it's a double top. Yes, it's a solid rejection. But this trend line here, I don't like taking those. This again, everyone draws these trend lines. There's going to be longs that are sitting here. It's not always guaranteed that it's going to tick through. It could totally hold this and continue moving up. So didn't take this. Solid bear leg, rejection. Another solid bear leg, rejection. But now you're just not having enough space. You got this double top up here. By the time you see this, yes, engulf, and yes, a solid rejection, and yes, this trend line broke, and you're expecting new extreme. But again, there's this double top, and maybe you get filled here, but then it would have shot right back down. It would have stopped you out before it goes all the way up. So, and what's 50 after again, getting late. As much as I do trade really up into the last few minutes, I rarely trade like the last two, because then it really gets fast. I wait for the perfect setups at the end of the day because again, it just gets so violent. So, yes, it's our setups, but not what we're looking for context-wise. Trend line here, and there's just not enough room here. So that's it, folks. Again, at the end of the day, it was 4 wins, 1, 2, 3, 4. One unfortunate loss, but it is what it is. Great day overall. Wish you all the best. Hope you got some solid trades today. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.